Bismillah والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد نبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome all of you with your program Fatwa Live. And this is the first part that comes to you from Mishkaya Center. The first question: can the woman pray in the universities or institutions in special places to worship, where they have places for all Kitab prayers? And there is no separation between men and women. Anyone who enters the prayer area, he will see her. Can she pray in that place that is common, with knowing that the man can see her when she's praying? The answer: there is not a problem with a woman to pray in front of people if she did not find a place to cover her. Just like she's saying in the haram, she pray in front of all of everybody. No doubt, if there is a private place, it'll be better. But if there is no, then she pray in this place. Alhamdulillah, I mean that you made it easy, because that's better for her. Not to combine the prayer or to waste the time until the time expires. And the masjid in the Prophet ﷺ, there is no separation between men and women. This is something when people get weak in their faith, that when people put the separation. But at the time of the Prophet ﷺ and the companions, that there was the barrier of faith that prevented men to look at the woman or to be with them, like at the entrances or the gates to get out. The Prophet and the companions, they stay in their place after the prayer until the women leave the masjid. They used to give them some time to leave, and then they turn. And then after that, they put a door just for the woman, and no men enter from that at all. So the putting a barrier is not part of Shara. This is something that is required on the management or administrative way, and you should take care of it when there is weakness in the faith, especially when there is lack of masjid or space. But the prayer of a woman in that form that this lady has mentioned is accepted, inshallah. Second question about the kafara for the feeding. We take it in the masjid and we feed families. Do we give each family a meal, or every person in the family as a meal, and knowing that the kids don't eat their meal? Are we supposed to give that meal for every certain person, or somebody ate with them? If we are talking about the fidya for feeding a needy, for to make up for breaking the fast because you're sick and you cannot do it, it is okay to give each needy a meal, or to give it on a group of needy, and it doesn't matter how they eat. If we're talking about the fidya of the fasting, in the permanent fatwa in Saudi Arabia, once the doctor said this illness, you cannot fast and you not expect healing, then you need to give for each day a needy, to feed the needy, half a sa' of the food of that day, of dates or something of that. If you give them a lunch or a dinner of the dates that you are required, then it is enough. So it is okay to give a dinner of the number of the days, and that's different of the kafara of the swearing, because it is a number. You have to give 10, so you have to give it to 10 needy. And if we gave the meal for then he owns it and he could eat it. and he could give it to somebody else, whether he was poor like him, or a child, or a relative. So he could do anything he wants, just like the person who owns something can do anything he wants, and Allah knows the best. The second question: my husband and my son, who's 11 years old, and my son could not do the haram because he was sick, because he had diarrhea at the day that he's supposed to leave Medina to Mecca, and he could not make the haram because of the sickness. So he made the haram in Tan'im after 2 days, and he did Umrah. Does he supposed to do something? First of all, I asked Allah Azza wa Jal to give him the recovery and to give him between the reward and the good health, and not to see any harm on him ever. So we say after that whomever passed the miqat with no ihram can list a part of the nusuk, and he supposed to make a fidya, a blood that he slaughtered in Mecca, and give it to the poor at that time to pass the miqat. Because of sickness, it is something that takes the sin, but not the fidya, the slaughtering. And even if you went to Tan'im, because Tan'im, it is the miqat of the people of Mecca, and whomever came to it from not for the travelers who come from outside. May Allah accept from you the best of deeds, and may Allah heal your son. The second question: I gave my small brother breastfed him one time. Is he brother to my sons, or he is their uncle? It's not by breastfeeding with him. It has to be 5 times that are known as is known. From the scholars who said in the hadith of Aisha that Muslim said in his book, what is was said recited in the Quran, 10 breastfed that are known were forbid, then they were taken out with 5 that are known. Then the Prophet ﷺ passed away, and it is from what was recited from the Quran. A question regarding the riba. I heard before that taking the interest in the bank and put it in a to leave it and put it in a public need, it is better than to leave it in the bank. As long as we don't give it for food and we have no reward for taking that, and that's can we use it for public areas like cleaner supplies? The answer, it is okay to take this interest money to spend it into the needy of the needy, and you can feed them, because the money that is forbidden by it earning, it goes to the person who earned it, not to the person that was given to. Like buying or selling, any money that gets to the other person through any permissible way, it is okay. It doesn't matter what how that money was earned. It goes to the person who earned it, not to the person that was given it away, given it from. Because the Prophet ﷺ, he dealt with the Jews in Medina, buying and selling, and he ate their food and he accepted their invitation, and he knew that they are taking the riba and they take people's money falsely. So it is okay for what you mentioned, and it is okay to feed the needy. It is way bigger than what people are trying to title it. And the second question, I work in the bank and the GRC where I look into the policies to force the bank to follow the rules. I don't do it only the security measures. That's the only thing. Can I work there? The answer, yes, it is allowed for what you have mentioned because you're working into the banks. It is not allowed because the Prophet ﷺ has cursed the person who ate the riba and the one who is eating it and the one who wrote it and the two witnesses, and they're all the same. With looking at the necessities and the needs, and you have to look and balance that side. The fiqh committee they allowed for those who could not find a permissible place to play to work in places where it's mixed between permissible things and forbidden without he directly do the what is forbidden, and to be serious in his intention to find another job that is not with the doubtful items. So it is okay to work that are n- n- not written or direct intention of the riba. That is the only forbidden. But what you have mentioned and the way it's in the security of data, so should be no burden, inshallah, on that part. And but it is better to find something more. Uh, if you need, so you need to stay away from these institutions if you can, inshallah. Otherwise, you are permitted because of the need. Wallahu alam. Second question. The biggest company in Saudi Arabia for common insurance based on helping each other. They do 45 insurance. One of them is the life, and one on the late retirement, and all of that stuff. And somebody was telling me that they take their profit from Mudaraba and it could be 90%, would make it more very close to the commercial insurance. They asked me to have some of the software programmers. Can I work in that areas? And is the shares are permissible? So I'll tell you, my son, if it is, if the insurance, like you have mentioned, where it is a common and it is, and they have that company has a board that looks into their transactions, then you can deal with them and to hire people for it. And I hope for you that you ask me from the behind the overseas about the country of Saudi Arabia because it is different to imagine things. It is better for you to ask the scientists of the um, Saudi Arabia because people know more about their areas than others. I have asked before about working in programming that depends on the artificial intelligence where it control the voices. Part of it it has with the music. I don't work with it. I was asked in some to evaluate the this artificial and I have to listen to some of the music if I want to develop that app. It is a great opportunity for me to learn for someone professional like me. Will add a lot of things to my. Do I take that opportunity and do it, or hopefully it is not something permanent for the music, but it is better to leave it in the beginning. And if I continue, can I purify my money by donating some of it? From what it seems to me, that if the part that has to do with the instrument, a light, and it is followed, and it's in the middle of a lot of goods that are permissible and allowed in Islam, and you go to gain a lot of experience. Uh, so I hope that it is for it is okay for you, that known evil in it that is covered by a lot of goods, and you purify your money like you have mentioned by directing it to the public areas, hoping that it will be good for you. And at the end, the to safeguard it is better, but I cannot prevent our youth to gain the experience into the things that are very beneficial to the livelihood of this ummah. That's my understanding to this point and this issue. And it's Allah Azza wa Jal who dedicated Dawood and Sulaiman to make me understand. And if this is something, it is right, it is from you, O Allah. If it is wrong, it is from us and from the shaitan. I asked my manager for dinner, and I wanted to meet him in the restaurant. He ordered some beer, and I had to pay for it because it was one. I did not know that he's going to drink beer. What's the rule? Inshallah, خلاص, may Allah forgive you. You be more guarded next time. And you can just ask Allah forgiveness. Repent. Can you play with your wife during her period on top of the belly button and to stay away from the rear ends? Yes, it is correct. You can. There is a dispute. What is forbidden uh, during the period is to anal and the intercourse during that time. So you can do anything you want except the intercourse. So it is allowed for the person to play with his wife who has her period as long as they don't do uh, intercourse, because if you get close to it, you're going to enter it. What is the rule about redo those days of the refast the days that you had period on because I'm sick? Well, the sick person who cannot expect him to be cured. No, what are you talking about? Psychological problem? You have a problem with fasting? I don't know. I need more verification, clarification on this issue. When you say you're sick, and you said after that it is a spiritual, so you do not meet Allah Azza wa Jal, not to be too extreme, nor to be too loose. Just because I had a headache, oh, I'm fasting, I'm sick. No, not to be too extreme. That you'll be very very tired and you're about to dehydrate, and you say, oh, I'm not. So you from glorify Allah's virtues, not to be extreme in either way. So don't know exactly what is the disease you're talking about when you say it's spiritual. Anyway, whoever is sick and is traveling, he could recompensate other days. But you see, you cannot fast. I will take it. I don't. You. It is your judgment, not mine. Paying the zakat al-mal to heal the schools in Syria, or the places that are very sick to buy diesel or gas. The Islamic schools from the areas of zakah, because it is a part of the struggling with the world. We here in the West, we make fatwa like Islamic institutions, the Islamic schools are in the sake of Allah. It is just like the jihad, because Allah said, do not follow the disbelieved and make jihad with them, meaning with the Quran, big jihad. So the da'wah jihad, it is part of the same thing like the fighting in the sword. They are all the sake of Allah when you look at the wider version of the jihad. But I hope at the same time you want to look at this issue to the experts in Syria. And Syria has their great scholars and known, and the problem is gone. So the scholars are go back to their status, their places, in leading their ummah and their people. This is my general fatwa, and I leak the details to the experts in Syria, asking Allah Azza wa Jal to make them successful and to show them the truth and let them follow it. There's an explanation for the. She's talking about very severe, hard tiredness during fasting. The answer, if it is too harsh for you, then it is okay, you're allowed. But again, what determined that, who's going to be asked, is the person, not me. Not the one who gives the fatwa, the one who is in that area. Because you go to face on Allah alone. The hard results from fasting, when there's hard major pain and hardship because of the fasting, if it is from, if it depends on the level, but if you say that it is too extreme, خلاص, it's your determination, your measures. Either way, I still asking, is this permanent one that you don't hope that it's going to be, you have permission to break the fast now. Take in your intention that whenever Allah Azza wa Jal give you recovery, that you're compensated for those days. That is okay to combine the fidya if it has been more than one Ramadan and you did not compensate for the days that are due. And ask Allah Azza wa Jal, my daughter, the success. Fasting on Ramadan, but except for the one, it's because of the reason. She is the one who cannot do it. My daughter, if you are fasting all Ramadan, then you are capable of fasting. So why choose the days of the Qada to compensate, and you made it from all the other days that you cannot fast? It's not making sense. You make him more confused about you. The rule still that you push yourself and you know the public, the general rule. If you can't do the compensating, then it become not obligatory. But you are wrong because you still fast Ramadan. If you fast Ramadan, you can make up for some other days, unless there is something I'm not aware of and I need to be aware of. آمين. So we conclude with the dua to Allah Azza wa Jal. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك.